Yes, då är vi på väg här upp till Shilo, som är en plats då i vad som på Bibelns tid hette Samarien eller Efraims bergsbygd. Stammen Efraim bosatt sig här då. Men i vilket fall, det var här då som man hade det första så kallade templet eller tabernaklet, och det var det här flyttbara templet som man hade stationerat här, kan vi säga. Man kom ifrån öknen och sen Josua och kompani intog landet och så satte man upp då det här templet, provisoriska templet alltså här, och arken stod här. Men idag ska vi inte prata så mycket om det, utan det kommer ett annat avsnitt längre fram. Men vi ska fokusera nu på en sak som har med då det tredje templet i Jerusalem att göra. Och det planeras ju för att bygga det här templet, och det är ju även profeterat om i Uppenbarelseboken 11 att det ska komma ett tredje tempel i Jerusalem. Och det står ju alltså i Nya testamentet, så då kan vi också vara med och be att det ska hända. Men då en sak som han har med det här att göra och som är väldigt aktuellt just nu, det är en sak som man behöver då till det här templet, och det är de här röda korna. Det behöver offras röda kor för att man ska få då ett reningsvatten till prästerna. Och vi kanske tycker det här är lite onödigt, vi som lever på i det nya förbundet så att säga, men det är någonting som måste till för att Jesus ska komma tillbaka, och templet behöver byggas, och då bygger man det utifrån de gamla instruktionerna, och lagen måste då, judarna behöver fortsätta att uppfylla lagen. Så att det är lite kanske jobbigt att tänka på de här sakerna, men det är ändå något som måste ske innan Jesus kan komma. För judarna måste börja ropa efter Messias. Så är det det han säger, jag lämnar er i sticket tills ni välkomnar mig då, där han står där på Livberget. Han gråter över Jerusalem och så vidare. Så vi kollar vidare på vad det här med de här 5 korna nu innebär. Här har de 5 röda korna. De ska offras i templet, eller bredvid templet, men för att tempeltjänsten ska funka. De är 5 stycken här. Det finns en konspirationsteori att de skulle offras redan i hemlighet, men de är 5 här, så det har inte hänt. Men det finns ett altare på Livberget där man ska göra det här.
Wept. The Dominus Plavit. Okay, this church over there is on a straight line, the same level of the temple. We found there wells and remnants of ashes of the red heifer.
Yeah.
That is where it was done. The priest would stand over there. He would see above the wall, all the way through the gates of the temple, and that's where it would happen. That over there. So if you went to see the heifer in Shilo,
yes, we did.
So this is where that's where it's done. That's where it was done.
Så ni kan läsa mer om det här lägger upp bibelord om de här sakerna, och vi ska snart få höra vad guiden säger också om det här. Mer intressant än vad jag har. Inte all information, men de måste i alla fall vara helt röda, och de får inte ha något vitt hår. Så 2 har blivit faktiskt underkända, men 3 är riktiga. Så nu kommer guiden här, så kan ni få höra på honom vad han säger. Det blir ännu mer intressant än vad jag säger. Shalom. Now I want to hear your story about this.
Great.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So we're not entering yet. You get your time to make pictures and to stare at them. But first of all, you cannot touch them. Okay, I'll explain in a bit why. You cannot touch them, you cannot lean on them, you cannot pat them. Just look with your eyes and not with your hands. Okay? Yes. Thank you. Sorry to be so strict. Right. So in Judaism, it's very important, yes. In Judaism, we have the concept of the red heifer, the perfectly red cow that is used to cleanse from people that became, and especially also the priests and Levites, but also normal people that became impure, ritually impure because of touching or being with a dead people. So you bury your loved one, you touch them, you give them a kiss, or you bring them away. You're spiritually impure. You have to cleanse yourself in a 7-day ritual from that, and 2 times in that week you get sprinkled with water with a little bit of the ash of the red cow. Why exactly God instructed us to do so, we don't know. It's a mystery that will be solved later in future, I guess. Maybe today, if you know it. But yeah. What is a red heifer? What is a parahaduma? It's a perfectly red cow, and it must be at least 2 years and 1 day in his 3rd year to be used. It cannot have white hairs. It cannot have a scratch. It cannot have, if they open it and they see the liver is not there anymore, then it's inside also not good, would not have survived another year, it's not impure anymore. It cannot work, it must never have work. Leaning on it makes he is carrying a weight of something else that's not his own, so that's already considered work. So that's about the red heifer. There's a whole ceremony to bring it and to use it, and it has to be burned on the Mount of Olives, and the ashes, there's a whole ceremony about it, how the water has to be brought, and that the water has also been pure, and the ashes and everything has to be in a certain state of pureness to be able to use it to clean from impurity. How did we find those red heifers? Well, there was just finding his name very quickly, because I don't tell the story a lot. Oh yeah. Yes. So there is, first of all, Hanan Kapatsky working with Azaria Ariel from the Temple Institute, and they were talking about the concept, and he was Kapitsky was very interested in the concept of the red heifer, and they talked about it, and until today, 8 months ago, we had 9 times in history red heifers. First one with Moses, and then from Ezra to the end of the second temple period, we had another 8. 9 times we had a red heifer, and from 2,000 years ago, more than 2,000 years ago, more or less, we didn't have a red heifer anymore. We couldn't find one here, until that rabbi and Kapitsky were talking, and they realized there's no rule, there's no halakha that forbids to get the red heifer from another country. So we started looking anywhere else, and they ended up contacting with Byron Stetson, and they went to the United States, and it happened to be that he was breeding, he has a whole flock of red Angus, one of the different kind of red cows we have in the world, and he started those red Angus working with them because he read in the Bible, in the Tanakh, in the Jewish part of the Bible, that the Jewish people had a red heifer, and he was so interested, he said, let's start breeding. So during COVID, normally the red heifer gets, and all cows get attacked with a number, but during COVID, because of all those balagan, all the trouble, there were a few not tagged. So when Kapitsky and some rabbis went there, they found 3 red heifers at this farm, and then 2 other ones at another farm that were completely perfect. They had no 2 white hairs. They were healthy. They were not yet 2 years, but when they would arrive, they became 2 years. So they were in all good condition. They never worked. They never hurt themselves in the field. They were perfectly a miracle. So the state of Israel doesn't allow livestock to enter. So they managed to work around it. And because they were so small in the beginning, like calves, they fit in the biggest cage you have for a dog to go in an airplane, and they brought them in as pets, not as stock, livestock, as pets. So those 5 pets came to Israel, and we have those most spoiled girls of the world here. And they're ready to be, and this is very important, not to be sacrificed. The red heifer is not a sacrifice. Sacrifices happen on the Temple Mount, on the altar. The red heifer is to be burned, also on a wooden structure, and mixed with the wood and some other woods like hyssop and cedar wood. That ashes is to be used, and then they just take a spoon and they put it in a large ton of water, and they use that water until it's finished, and then take another spoon. It also has to be mixed with, every time you have new ashes, it has to be mixed with the old ashes. And right now, they're planning to do new excavations in Qumran, where they found the Dead Sea Scrolls. You know, they found there 40 years ago, they found some of the incense, and there is an indication in the text they found on the silver scroll that there might be also the ancient ashes still buried. So they're looking for it, and it all comes together. So we got those red heifers 8 months ago, and we showed them to the public just 1 week before the war started. On Sukkot, all Sukkot, they were here for the public to see, and just in 1 week we got a war. And one of the spokesmen, I think he's dead now, but one of the spokesmen of Hamas said the reason we started the war was also because we knew they had the red heifer. There's one more line, it's written in the Quran. In the Quran, it says, the people that have the red heifer, they're the one that run the country, that are having possession of the country. Well, we have them. So their own Quran even says, we are the one that are responsible for this country and are allowed to live here. Obviously, they don't like to share that verse, but it's there. The names of the cows are that there's so much to tell about them. Oh yes, understand you're also, again, you're very close to Israel, you feel connected to Israel. Well, there's an adoption program. You can be part of the red cow, and now keeping the red cows. Once they're not kosher anymore to be burned, they can be used to breed new red cows. Para, aduma, we call them. Adama comes from earth, the red earth, like you see there in the back. But the reddish earth, that's the red we're talking about. And there's an adoption program to keep this alive. You see here the visitor center. We started building the visitor center, and again the war started. So we didn't finish. And we would like to finish and to be open to all the public and to all the wise people of the world to come here and study and see the red heifer. And of course, we need the red heifer to build the new temple. We need the red heifer to reinstitute everything that was taken from the Jewish people. So it's very important that we have them. It is one of the basic building stones, living building stones. We need to purify ourselves again. When we have priests ready to do it, that stayed pure until now. We have little boys, they grow up in a perfect, clean environment, in about a large patio that is double walled around it, and the floor is about 10 centimeters above the ground, in order that they don't catch impurity the first years of their lives. That when we are ready to burn the red cows, those boys can bring water from the Siloam pool to where they mix everything. So everything is ready. We just need the go.
Not from the Gihon Street, but from the...
I think it's the Siloam.
That's what I'm asking, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll check it. I have it written here, then I get that to you. Yes. Always when I get a question, I get nervous. Did I say it wrong? So I check it, double check it for you. Good question. So we go in. You're not allowed to touch them. I'm strict, okay? Enjoy. Oh, their names. You want to know their names? Geula, that means redemption. Segula, that means virtue. Tikva, hope. Nechama, comfort. And Tehia, life, like coming back to life again. Yes? Which one is which? I don't know. Please come in. Hi girls. Here we are.
to change your wicked ways. Don't you know Messiah will come? And all the gold and silver will be brought into you. It's written, it will not change. All nations will bow down for Jerusalem. Yeah. Crazy warlords, your time is up. When you surround the city of peace, the king himself will return.